Deadpool and Wolverine on the surface might look like your average superhero movie, but after watching it, I realized there was some pretty symbolic, spiritual messages hidden underneath the surface of the film. Today, I'm going to explain why I believe there's a Deadpool and a Wolverine within all of us. In my opinion, these two iconic characters, specifically in this movie, represent two sides of the same coin, and that coin is trauma. If you're alive on Earth today, you're going to experience trauma. There's really no way around it. It's in a strange way what makes us all human. No matter what your circumstances are in life, pain and suffering are inevitable. I think what makes you a strong person, or a hero in the case of Deadpool and Wolverine, is how we deal with those traumas. I realize that Wolverine and Deadpool are perfect examples of the two distinct roads most of us take when dealing with pain, suffering, and loss. Let's start with Deadpool. In this movie, Deadpool is at a rock bottom on his journey. The love of his life doesn't want him. He wants to join the Avengers because he feels like he deserves to be a part of a real team of superheroes. Being an outcast, he has a strong yearning to belong to something that matters, which I think we all have in our own way. We all want to feel a part of something bigger than ourselves, something that's respected and admired by others. Yet despite all the pain and suffering he's been through, he still keeps his sense of humor. His trauma response is comedy, which I think is really wise. No matter what you're going through, you have to find time to dance and sing and make jokes. Without those things, life is just miserable. I love stand-up comedy, and I realize most of the great stand-up comedians have all usually come from a very traumatic upbringing, and they turn to comedy as a coping mechanism, which is literally the definition of the phrase, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. The most successful people in any field are usually the ones that took the horrible things, the pain, the trauma, and channel that energy into something great. As cliche as it sounds, you have to find the positive aspects of the negative things that happen to you in life. After everything Deadpool has been through, he still loves people. He still wants to save the ones he loves. No matter how horrible his situation is, he continues to make jokes and find the humor of the situation. Even in the face of danger, he still finds time to dance and crack jokes and have fun. Even though he's a complete maniac psychopath, I think Deadpool in essence offers us a powerful lesson that we can all learn from. That no matter what you're going through in life, we have to try our best to keep a positive attitude. Okay, let's talk about Wolverine. The version of Wolverine that we meet in this movie is referred to as the worst Wolverine. In his universe, he's a complete failure. His entire X-Men team, which is like a family to him, have all died. Wolverine is a tormented soul who carries around tremendous pain over his failure and loss. He's completely shut off emotionally, and he drowns his sorrow in alcohol. The pain of his past is basically too much for him to even talk about, and he allows his pain to turn into anger and frustration. I think for all of us, it's way easier to ignore the pain of our past and just act like it never happened. We repress these thoughts and emotions, and it usually leads to just outbursts of passive aggressiveness and rage. It can be difficult to look back on your past and forgive others and yourself. Wolverine wasn't born with the metal skeleton and claws. The surgery that was performed on him was extremely traumatic, yet it also resulted in him attaining one of his greatest weapons, his claws. I think the same could be said for ourselves and our own personal dramatic experiences. Oftentimes, I feel like these are the most pivotal moments in our life where we usually grow the most. His skeleton is made of an extremely strong metal called adamantium, and because of it, he weighs like 300 pounds. To me, his indestructible metal skeleton symbolically represents how he's kind of weighed down by the pain of his past. The strong metal coating his skeleton, representing the armor we all develop over time to protect ourselves from ever experiencing pain like that again. Sometimes the pain can affect us so deeply that it metaphorically penetrates our being down to the bone. We become one with it. It becomes something we carry around every day. His metal claws are like extensions of his pain that he uses to rampage and hurt others in order to protect himself. We've all seen or even been the person who lashes out for no reason. It's like when you're driving on the road and you're getting over in the lane and somebody starts yelling and screaming. You're like, they're obviously mad. over something way deeper than me cutting them off on accident. I was just trying to get off on the exit. It's not that serious, but that's how I think unaddressed pain manifests itself in weird ways like that, out of nowhere sometimes. Anyway, by the end of the movie, with the help of Deadpool, Wolverine finally opens his heart and is finally able to forgive himself and move on, allowing himself to join this strange family of friends. And in life, that's your only option when you've been knocked down. You can stay bitter and miserable, hating everything and everyone, or learn to forgive yourself and move on, which is usually easier when surrounded by friends and family. Sometimes it takes other people seeing us as worthy of love for us to realize that we do deserve it and we do want it. Let's talk about the interesting parallels between Deadpool and Wolverine. Both Deadpool and Wolverine are immortal. There are ways to kill them, but it's basically impossible. They both have regenerative healing powers. Wolverine's healing factor keeps him looking young and healthy, yet Deadpool's healing works in the opposite way, where he's basically so dead he can't die. Both are able to regenerate from any injury. What's crazy though is both of them feel pain as if anybody else would. They get shot, stabbed, break bones, and they feel it all. They've become so accustomed to pain, it basically just doesn't faze them anymore. I think we metaphorically all have this healing ability. No matter what we go through in life, if it doesn't kill us, we become accustomed to it. If something similar happens again, it usually doesn't affect us the same way. I'm not saying we should grow numb to it. I'm saying that the pain doesn't affect us as deeply. It's like when we were kids and somebody said, "You're stupid, you're ugly." That really that cut deep. But now, if somebody called you stupid and ugly, you'd probably just laugh what? No matter what life throws at us, we have to know that it's possible to regenerate. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine a few days ago, and honestly, it wasn't bad. I'm glad I saw it in theaters. I haven't seen a Marvel movie basically since Spider-Man No Way Home. I did see Ant-Man and the Ant-Man movie. I did watch that, but I cannot tell you one thing that happened in that movie. I skipped Thor. I can't remember the name of the movie Thor, Black Panther 2, skipped the Marvels, and something told me to just go watch Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm glad I did. I didn't want to give a review of it or anything like that. That's just not really my thing. Maybe one day, but the movie was nothing groundbreaking, but I had a good time in the theater. Tons of cameos and nostalgia bait, which, in the moment I enjoyed. It probably wouldn't hit the same, without the surprise of those characters, but what I really loved about the movie was how I realized that Deadpool and Wolverine represent the duality of the human experience. I felt like there were some pretty cool life lessons that can be learned from digging deeper into the two characters. My favorite thing is trying to find deeper messages in things that are just supposed to be mindless entertainment and pop culture things. I love trying to find the deeper symbolism. I feel like we collectively enjoy these stories and characters because they subconsciously speak to us on a deep spiritual level. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I plan on doing a lot more videos on the symbolic messages of superheroes. So if you're into stuff like that, stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the future.